Hello nursing students, my name's Lauren, this is Blair, and we just really wanted to share this video with you today.
Today we're going to be going over the simulation lab. We're going to give you an orientation, go over the do's and don'ts of when you're doing your simulation and what the expectations will be.
This is the student lounge. This is where you will meet with your simulation group about 10 minutes before your scheduled simulation time. As a lab instructor, we will come and get you from this room when we are ready for your group. After we get your group from the student lounge, we will hand you all a key. The number on the key corresponds to a locker out here in the hallway. In this locker, you can put all your belongings that you don't want with you during the simulation. Then after the simulation, just please make sure that you give us the key back.
And now we are going to give you a brief orientation and tour of each sim room. In 323, we're going to be a little bit more detailed and describe to you the process of the simulation and the equipment and the mannequin and how the sim will work.
When you come in, we may have you sign a consent form before we start the simulation, and then we will collect those. Anything you may need for the simulation will be found on the countertop. If it is not, in the drawers they are labeled for things you can find: monitoring devices, glucose monitor, blood pressure monitor, thermometer. Also, medications may be pulled, or you may have to go to the Pyxis, and we will show you later where that's located at. There's other linens, so anything you may need is over here: gloves, hand sanitizer, calculators.
And now I just want to tell you a little bit more about the mannequin. The mannequins do have breath sounds, which you can probably hear Candy breathing right now. They do have pulses. They do have a blood pressure. They can even turn cyanotic. They can do many different things. To find a pulse on the mannequin, the best place that we found is the radial pulse, or also the carotid pulse. And for the carotid, you sometimes have to, it's almost like right in the center of their neck, but you can feel it on them. For the blood pressure, you should be able to hear it just like you would on a human. And we always ask that you at least attempt to obtain a blood pressure during the sim. For the pulse ox, the patients do not have a pulse ox, but we do have the pulse ox clip that once you place it on their finger to us, that is you obtaining their pulse ox, so we will make it appear. They do not have a temperature, but the same thing, if you put the temperature probe underneath their tongue, that is to us that you're taking their temperature. And once you obtain each vital sign and you say it out loud, we will make it appear on the screen here. In every room there's also a whiteboard. The whiteboards have any pertinent information that you might need about your patient. The number for the unit clerk is also listed on this board. That is an actual telephone number that you can pick up this phone, dial that number, and it will ring to the unit clerk. The unit clerk is how you call anyone, whether you need to call the doctor, x-ray, lab, anybody. You go through the unit clerk and have them transfer you, so to say, to whatever staff that you might need. There's also a little reminder for S-bar on the wall here. That way when you do call the doctor, you kind of remember what to say to the doctor there. On the bedside table, there should be a bedside report that would go over anything such as allergies, medications, or orders for the patient.
And this is room 325. It's set up very similar to 323. I will add that in every room there is a sink where you are able to wash your hands, and there's the phone for this room. It's behind the curtain, and please do remember to pull the curtain with each patient. This is sim room 327. We use this room primarily for OB and peds, but it also has the Pyxis where you will be able to remove meds for your simulations.
To log into the Pyxis, there's a little sheet right here that always tells you what your username and password will be. The usernames are for whichever class that you're in. So to start, you just touch the screen, we'll say that we're logging in for nursing 115. So the user ID is just NUR space 115. The password for every class is always user. This little pop-up will always come up. You just hit OK. And then after that, this is your normal Pyxis screen where you can remove or do whichever you need, and your patient list will be available for you there.
And here's room 329. And now I'm going to show you the examination suites. You will primarily use these rooms for advanced health assessment or health assessment classes.
And any supplies that you will need, once again, are found in the drawers in these rooms.
They also include patient tables as well. This is a control room, and this is where the lab assistants will watch you perform your simulation, and we will also control the simulation and the mannequin in this room. We have a special program that we use to make changes in this sim patient, and this is where we can also control the monitor to put vitals up on the screen for you. We can hide and close the vital signs here. This is where we record you, and it's also saved as a file, so we can watch it at a later time if needed. This is where we can talk to you guys. We will be able to hear you at all times, but as soon as we hit talk, that's when you will be able to hear us, so we can respond to any questions that you might have. When you call the unit secretary with the number on the whiteboard, it goes to that phone where we will be able to respond to you and answer your questions that you may have. That's pretty much it for the control room.
And this is the debriefing room where we will be meeting after simulations.
Here we will all sit around the table and discuss what went well during the sim and what you guys could work on. This is where we give you good constructive feedback about how it went, and during the sim we'll take notes, and then we'll share those notes with you with the scoring sheet, and we will provide the scoring sheet to your clinical instructors and your professors for their review as well. And we'll just kind of chit chat about how the simulation went.
And if you're doing an individual checkoff, you are required to bring your own grade sheets for those. And we do go over those after the checkoffs as well. For every simulation, we do expect that you guys will be on time, maybe about 10 minutes early for your simulations. We do expect that you're dressed in the appropriate clinical attire, and we do expect that you bring the appropriate supplies, which would be your stethoscope, pen and paper, and also your PDA or your phone.
Now we just wanted to take a moment to review some of the do's and don'ts that we've learned throughout a couple of semesters of being lab assistants, and wanted to share these ideas with you guys. So one of the main ones for the do is definitely talk to the mannequin while you're in there in the room during your sim.
Yeah, don't, even though we talk to you through the ceiling, please don't talk to the ceiling as if you're talking to us. We want you to talk to the mannequin as if they were a real patient of yours.
And we also want you to perform all the tasks on the mannequin, taking a blood pressure and just doing anything that you would on a real patient. We want you to perform those tasks.
Yeah, don't just say that you did. Don't just say, oh, you know, I got a blood pressure of whatever. We want you to actually do it as if it was, once again, a real patient.
And then kind of for the last one is we want you to be prepared and also be confident, and again, treat it like a real life scenario and just be confident in what you know. And then we can also talk about and give you feedback in the debriefing session as well. So
we've had multiple students kind of stop during a simulation, and they'll say, okay, I know I'm forgetting something, what am I forgetting? Or am I doing this right? Or, you know, asking inappropriate questions during the simulation, because in a real life situation you wouldn't be able to do those things. So try really hard not to, you know, ask us for help or ask us if you're doing something right during the simulation, because we can go over all that at the very end. And one last thing, do not be afraid of these simulations. I know they can be very stressful or even terrifying for a nursing student. We remember as nursing students ourselves having to do these, and we know they can be very scary, but we are all very friendly people, so do not ever hesitate to ask any questions before or after the simulations, and we're always here to help and just try to make this a very positive experience for all of you guys.